Do you ever watch content and think, what were they thinking? And then you go to the comment section and you're like, holy what? Why? Why would we do this? So yesterday I'm responding to some comments on a post that I have on a different platform that's for some reason now getting a lot of traction, even though it's like a year old. And it's regarding the $2 billion lawsuit that has a special court handling it regarding all of the GLP-1 agonist medications. It's a duet of me sitting with my headphones on, getting some work done actually, while this guy talks about the lawsuit. Basically, a bunch of individual lawsuits were filed. They have been jointly classified within this one court that both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk agreed should be presiding over all of these cases, because the lawsuits against them claim that none of the side effects of gastroparesis or muscle wasting or bone loss were mentioned in the side effects. The lawsuits are also claiming that nausea and vomiting wasn't mentioned as a side effect, but let's be real. So so the lawsuit, right? So all of those side effects were disclosed. The one side effect that was not disclosed at the time that the lawsuits were filed, because the original filing of the first lawsuit did not happen until about this information wasn't released until about 2 months after that came out, was the sudden blindness syndrome or the optic nerve deterioration. Harvard released that study about 2 weeks after the first lawsuit was filed. But this other creator, she's like, I'm not mad about the drugs. I'm not mad about the side effects. I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad about this. What I'm mad about is how disempowering these drugs are. And all I could think was, wow, she missed the mark. Like, she totally missed the mark on that. And I get we're in this like women's empowerment and that kind of stuff, and we are taking away people's ability to believe that they have it in them to lose the weight. But for the people who are taking these drugs, they didn't want that empowerment. And I say that because they are some of the people who have told you that they have literally tried everything and nothing has worked. And when they say they've tried everything, um, I've been doing in the weight loss space since 2014, so more than a decade. And I've seen enough food logs and enough pictures of meals and enough conversations with people to know that some of these people literally are doing everything. They're following the advice of their endocrinologist that told them that because they have a thyroid dysfunction, they should never be eating more than 1,200 calories a day. And so they're in this starvation mode and they're frustrated. Or they're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day, but they're in the gym for an hour in the morning doing cardio and trying to get an hour of weights in at night. And to be honest, who has that kind of time? Like who has that kind of time? And the most alarming thing to me is that we have not learned anything from the epidemic of eating disorders in the 90s. In 2009, a documentary book came out called Dying to Be Thin, and it became a PBS special in 2014, I believe. So we have a problem. We're aware we have a problem, but we have problems the other way too, and all we do is blame those people for being, quote, lazy, but they're not always lazy. Part of the problem is us as influencers. Like, flat out us, the influencers. There's so much information out there about how to lose weight, but everyone swears that you have to do it a different way. Some people are like, you can only do it with keto, you can only do it with carnivore, you can only do it with vegetarian, you can only do it with slim fast, you can only do it with Jenny Craig, you can only do it with Weight Watchers. It's a joke. And I'm not saying I'm an influencer, but I've created enough content and reached enough people to know that this content makes a difference. And so when I tell you that there is a way to lose weight and strip fat off your body, not muscle, To not lose your hair while you're doing it, to not lose the glow of your skin, to not destroy your organs while you're doing it. And I know there's a way to do it, but it does take extreme discipline. Like for 6 weeks, I need you to be perfect. People shy away from that. Part of the problem is we have dedicated our lives to things surrounding food, and there is not a time period in the United States where 6 weeks goes by and you don't miss out on something that circles around food. The closest you will ever get, ever, period, is the time between New Year's and Valentine's Day. It is exactly 6 weeks. But when you come off of a meal plan that's teaching your body how to strip fat off your body, that does not mean that the next day you go and eat high sugar and drink alcohol. And I tell you the program is like 6 weeks of super strict, but then it's like another 8 weeks of slowly adding stuff back in to see how your body responds to it, to see if that is creating inflammation in your system that's going to cause your body to get pissed off and gain weight back. And that sounds hard, doesn't it? Because I've done the program and it's hard. And you find out some things about your body that maybe you didn't want to know. Like one of my go-to things that I used to have people do for a quick, like, good, here, let's support your adrenal glands and get some energy first thing in the morning because you can add protein to it is overnight oats because the oats themselves have protein. And then if you throw like a half a scoop of protein powder in there, particularly if it's chocolate, and maybe 2 tablespoons of dried peanut butter powder, you've got 30 grams of protein and some good carbs to go to the gym with. Turns out oats are one of my biggest trigger foods. They make me look, when I eat them, like I'm 9 months pregnant. And I know that gas and bloating isn't normal, so when I can't get my pants buttoned because oats made me bloat so bad, I know I shouldn't be eating them because they're pissing off my system. They're going to make me gain weight. And then let's talk about the twin study. The twin study out of Kingston University is 3,600 sets of identical twins. So 7,200 people in the study. That's the original set. There's more people in the study now, but 7,200 people who have like half of them, 3,600 of them, have a matching set in the data set. And so they can truly look at like what is causing different health impacts. And one of the things that they found specifically regarding obesity is that the twins that had less microbiome diversity had higher obesity rates. But we also know that gut diversity, gut bacteria diversity, thrives in healthier individuals who have a higher socioeconomic status because they have higher access to higher quality foods and more variety of foods. And after that data was discovered, they literally took the gut microbiome from obese people and put it in thin mice and made them overweight. And they took the gut microbiota from thin people and put them in obese mice and made them thin just by changing the bacteria in their gut. So what I'm going to tell you might surprise you, but to have the appropriate amount of GLP-1 production, you have to have enough gut diversity. So I don't know that these drugs are disempowering. I don't think they're teaching people what it is that they actually need to fix. Because what we need to fix is the health of the gut. Because the health of the gut determines the health of the individual, including whether or not they are obese. It impacts their mood, it impacts their eyesight, it impacts their bone health, it impacts everything. If you want to join my 6-week challenge, click the link below and contact me, and I'll send you the information.